So hey guys, and welcome back to another Access 72 video, and in today's video I'm back with another interview and I'm here with Jordan Barker Porter. Jordan, how are we?
I'm good, how are you?
I am great, thank you. Thank you very much for doing this interview.
No problem.
Nice. So, am I right in saying you're a 28 lightweight and you're 5-1?
I am, that is correct.
Alright, nice one. Okay, well if you are new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, the question which I always like to start off with is, why did you start boxing?
Mainly for fitness, if I'm honest. I started in one of the boxing fitness sessions, but it was someone was like messaging us, "Oh, come and give it a go, I think you'll like it," because I was kind of scrapping in the streets rather than in the
yeah.
So I, you know what, like I've grew up around my brothers doing boxing, so let's give it a go. And yeah, first fitness session, never look back.
Great, okay. And so do you remember what happened in your first amateur fight?
It's mad because literally Thursday night I got invited back to where I had my first amateur fight, and he's out with the amateurs, so it was such like a privilege to do that, and it like brought back all the memories. That bloody hell, it was only 4.5 years ago I did this, but it was a crazy feeling. Like obviously you went through all the emotions, like the unknown, the excitement, the adrenaline, I was anxious, but when I got in the ring, like that's how I got the name Russian Robot, because from that fight I never stopped. I was just coming forward, like throwing the shots non-stop, but things settled down after that. But yeah, it was a good night.
Great. And so in that amateur time, did you end up winning any big achievements?
I won gold at Haringey Box Cup. I was national finalist, come away with silver medal. I've got 2 silver medals in the Winter Female Box Cup. I'm 4 times Tyne Tees weight champion. I won the development belt outright because I defended that 3 times. So, and to be honest, if it wasn't for COVID, before I turned over, I probably would have had another 20-30 fights. I was just about to do the elite championships, but then COVID hit. So I was literally just on the rise in the amateur. I decided to turn over when I did, because I didn't kind of want to wait around. I thought the time was right, especially with females like rising up now.
Definitely, and you've definitely chose a good time to turn over. And so far you've had the 5 fights and the 1 defeat. The 1 defeat came quite early, and since then you've managed to get 4 wins after that, and so you've done very well to bounce back. But how tough was it to bounce back from that defeat?
It was hard, because kind of at the time I thought I was invincible. I took the fight quite close to the making my debut, and my wife was. I knew when I took her, my wife was about to give birth to our little baby girl, so like I totally underestimated motherhood as well, and the sleepless nights and all that, and like obviously I still wanted to be heavily involved. I didn't want to miss out on any time, so I just crashed and burned it. I crashed and burned, unfortunately, on the night of the weekend going into the fight, so it's one of them. But I took the time I needed, made the changes I needed, because I was at the time I was doing 2 jobs and trying to train full time. It didn't work. It wasn't feasible. I was burning the candle at both ends. So going into this year, I made the changes I needed, and that's how I've got the 4 wins. I've got an unbelievable nutritionist on board now, which I brought in January this year, called Pete Bell. He's the magician, so I'm fueled right for my sessions and getting into the ring. So it's good.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And so you spoke about how you had to have the 2 jobs at one point to just even be able to still box as well. And so what kind of keeps you motivated to even carry on boxing, especially when you've got 2 jobs as well?
Well, I've left one of the part-time jobs that I had, so I just do the PT and fitness on the side of boxing now. So it is just the one, but even still doing that still, it's like in the fitness world, like you're doing stuff yourself, you're showing people how to do reps, you're lifting weights, you do it, so it's not like where you can just sit down and chill out. Like it is still intense. But it is still difficult, like juggling stuff. Like at the minute I purely rely on sponsorship just to be able to do boxing. I'm not at the stage yet where I'm getting paid to do what I do, so it is tough. But I always knew this year was going to be a learning curve, and I keep telling myself short term, long term gains. So
definitely. And so you've, since that defeat, had the 4 pro wins like I mentioned, and so out of them, well, even including your debut as well, out of all your wins so far, which one would you say you've performed your best in?
I would probably say my last fight because I was relaxed. I eased myself into it. I wasn't rushing anything. I could have quite easily stepped up the gas from round one, but I wanted to show my skill because the fight prior to that was really scrappy, and although I got the win, I was frustrated at myself because I like things to be clinical.
Yeah.
So I want to get at least a good few rounds out of this. When I see a shot landing and I see I've hurt it, then I'm going to pounce, and that's exactly what I did in round 5. So definitely my last performance, I'd say.
Great. So you're progressively learning as you're going along, which is good to see.
Yeah, definitely. Every fight, I feel I'm getting better. Every day, every week, every month in the gym, I'm getting better under Nick. He's unreal at what he does. So it's crazy the improvements I've made in just a year. Since making debut.
That's great. And so you've had the 6 fights in just under a year, which is good. And so are you aiming to come back fighting again before the end of the year, or are you having a little bit of a break?
No, I'm definitely back. I've got a fight locked in for the beginning of December.
Okay.
Hopefully it's out after this historic weekend for the females. So yeah, hopefully I can get all the details out next week. But it's going to be tasty. It's on a massive card, and it's in my hometown again. So yeah, buzzing.
That's great. Good to hear. Okay, and so we'll speak a bit more about that this historic night today. A little bit later on, but if you are fighting in December, like you said, and it's going to be a big card, I'm sure you'll be getting a lot of new fans coming and watching you. And so, what would you say to people, to these new fans? Why should they come and watch you? What kind of makes you interesting?
Just the kind of the backstory. That's what people invest in. I mean, I'm still a baby in the sport, but I have progressed very quickly. Like some of the girls I've even come up against, they've been in it since they're fresh out, and at least, you know what I mean. I've been boxing amateur and professional 4.5 years. 5 years ago, I was doing stupid things. I was taking drugs. I was drinking excessively. Like I wasn't into fitness. So like I've completely changed my life around from there to where I am now. And like I've been 4.5 years sober, in the gym. The achievements I've made, like it's something for the kids to look up to say like, yeah, going through a bit of a rough patch, it's okay. Take a step back and make a change you need to go forward, and just kind of don't let anyone tell you can't do anything, because you can do anything you set your mind to and achieve. So hopefully I'm inspiring the young girls, the young boys to come through the gym.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. With a backstory like that, I'm sure to a lot of people is quite relatable. They might be in that similar kind of position at the moment, but to be able to see you doing what you're doing is definitely an inspirational thing.
Thank you.
All right, and so you spoke about how that you're only just starting in the sport, and so how far do you believe you can go in the sport?
I think every fighter's dream is to become a world champion, but for that's the same for me. That's the vision. And again, I've like similar to the amateurs, I've progressed quite quick as a pro. So the fight we've got planned for the end of the year is a big step up for me. Then next year we've got our visions on the European title. So from that stage, it's just step by step. I'd love to start off and fight for an area title like the boys do, but it's just not feasible. There's no my weight category in this area. I'd love to fight for a British title. Again, it's not feasible. There's not enough females in the country in my weight category. So that is kind of the next step for me, going straight in a European, then maybe the Commonwealth title, then looking for world title. But don't need to rush anything, baby steps, but in a few years it'll kind of be where it wants to be, and maybe we can get a British title on the line.
Definitely. And I mean, I'm sure with the kind of even just this card that's happening today with Shields and Marshall, that's definitely a step in the right direction. And to go on to that card, you spoke about it, and so out of the main event, Shields versus Marshall, who would you say would you be the winner? What's your prediction?
Do you know what? My prediction keeps changing.
Tough.
It's going to be a tough fight. It's 50-50. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people are underestimating Clarissa's achievements and what she's done in the sport, but at the same sense, Savannah she's got strong fists. Like she knocks people out. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's tough. Which one's going to win? Like Clarissa's got a very good boxing IQ. Savannah's got the punch and power, but she also is a very good fighter. So it's hard. It really is hard. I just don't know. I'm 50-50 on it. But I just hope it's going to be as good as what everyone's making out to be.
Definitely. And is there anybody on that card perhaps that you're looking at as a possible future fight that you'd love to fight? Because we've got like Dubois on there, we've got Price on there, we've got Carrington on there, all good young fighters coming through. And is there any of them that maybe you look at and see, maybe I'd like to fight them?
The only lightweight on the card is Dubois, who you've just said she's in my category. The others are kind of dotted all over the shop. But look, we'll see. Get the end of this year out the way, and then I know things are going to step up next year. So whether it's a fight with someone in the UK, because there's some juicy girls in my category, and I'm happy to fight any of them. So we'll soon see.
Definitely. Okay, and I'll leave with this final question, which I always like to finish off with. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Would you like to shout anything out?
Yeah, definitely. Similar to what I've just said before, like anyone going through struggles, like reach out. I've got open arms, like drop in my DMs, but just don't keep yourself in that little rut. Like you can get out of it, make a change, because look what I've achieved in 4.5 years. It's like it's crazy. It's like just baby steps, day at a time. And just a massive thank you to all my sponsors. Like I genuinely wouldn't be able to do it without you lot, and especially my dad. Like he's been my main support this year. Like so. Just massive thank you to everyone that follows us, everyone that supports us, because it's gonna go off.
Great, good to hear, and a very good message which you're spreading as well, and I'm sure a lot of people, like I said, will look up to that. And so thank you very much for doing this interview.
No worries, thank you very much.
Alright, and maybe a bit further along down the line when you're fighting for some European belts, we can come back and do a return interview.
Oh yes, let's go.
Let's go. Alright. Well, thank you very much for watching the video. Like the video if you didn't, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.